So, the basic nature of a person cannot be changed. People will always be true to their character, and it is difficult for them to think or behave differently. That is the meaning of the proverb. The second paragraph gives an example uh, of a man who sees a scorpion fall into a river and jumps in to save it, but the scorpion stings him even though the man had jumped in to save him. So, what happens is both the scorpion and the man die. So, it means that you should not go and help a person who is not going to be turned into somebody good. It's a mere waste of time. So the proverb is therefore, the proverb expansion concludes with the moral. The proverb is therefore also a way of asking people to be aware of those around them and their true nature. So this is kind of a rough pattern that you can follow to frame your answer, give the meaning, give some examples, some stories from your life or from other people's lives, or some other similar proverb from another culture, and lastly, once again, reinforce the meaning, and if there is a moral, state the moral. So, I'd like to remind you that this length of the answer is okay if it's for a 4-mark question. A 4-mark question demands at least one page, but if it's a 15-mark question, then you should really expand the answer into say a 3 or 2.5, 3 pages at least. Uh, so this is the model that you should follow, the structure that you should follow, but the length of your explanation must depend on the marks that the question carries. So this is another example. Rome, the proverb is Rome was not built in a day. As I can read through it. The proverb means, what does it mean? Rome was not built in a day. Rome is a beautiful city, a very advanced city of the ancient ages, but it is important to remember that excellence, the moral drawn from the proverb is that excellence and beauty is not created in a flash. There's a lot of hard work behind excellence. So we'll now move on into the next unit in module 5, unit 14, the short essay. So you already know what is an essay. So what is a short essay and how should we write it? So a short essay is simply an essay which is shorter in length. So traditionally we say that an essay should have an introduction, body and a conclusion. So in a short essay we do not require an elaborate introduction. We come straight to the point, and however, we should, after elaborating, stating the points and elaborating it should end with an effective conclusion. And also, very important, an essay should have a title. So this is an example which is given in your I have drawn this example from another text. Here there is a title, Pleasure of Reading, and this is written in one paragraph. You can pause the video and you can read through it. I'm not reading it now. And the example which I have taken from the text is the importance of healthy living. This is also confined to one paragraph. But as I said, for the proverb, regarding the expansion of proverb, please add paragraphs and make your answer lengthy if they carry more marks. Now the third writing exercise that we have to deal with is report writing, which is given in unit 15. So what is a report? It is a comprehensive description of an event, function, or activity. We all see reports every day. Like we see reports in newspapers, we see reports in, say, our school magazine or college magazine. So we are familiar with what it is about. So what is it? Newspaper reports and reports in college magazines, they deal with, they report an event that happened, basically, mostly, or an activity, and they are chronologically ordered. They report the events according as per the time it happened, and the details have to be very accurate. It cannot be vague, it should be very clear, and it should not carry unnecessary details. So when you write a report, there are three things that you should keep in mind: the purpose of the report, why this report is being written, okay, who is reading this, intended readership. If your report is for your college mates, then you don't have to write it in a very uh, technical style. You can make it a bit light. But if you are writing a report for your colleagues in your office, then your language has to be, definitely it has to be upgraded. It has to be more complex, it should be more professional. Same thing with the style. The style also changes according to the purpose and readership of the report. Now, there are several kinds of reports, but three major kinds of reports are mentioned in your text. One is newspaper report, two office reports, and three college magazine reports. So newspaper reports, we all have all seen it. So what is our newspaper reports all about? How should it be composed? So it should be crisp, matter of fact, and neutral in tone. It should be, newspaper reports should be objective. It should not be informal. It should not have an inclination towards any particular ideology or any particular group. It should be very factual and impartial, and it should be very precise, and pack as much information as you can in with less words. Be economical with your words. You know how a newspaper report is, right? We don't, it's not like an essay where you give all random details. No, like there is a specific time that a reader spends on reading the newspaper. So your aim is to pack as much information as you can within a certain word limit. Now, every report should have a title. So where do you place the title of a newspaper report? It is given at the top of the page before you begin writing the report. Now, before beginning the body, the date and location of the report, the date in which it was published, and the location from which it is being reported should be mentioned in the top left hand corner after the title. Now, in some newspapers, we also see the name of the correspondence, news correspondence being given. Now, the structure of a newspaper report should be such that the introductory paragraph must contain all important points. So, we call this the inverted pyramid structure, where right in the first paragraph of the newspaper reports itself, all the important information is given, and the rest of the report is an elaboration of those points. It is not like a movie where there is a twist at the end, or you get the most important information towards the end of the report. You cannot frame a report like that, like a movie. What is the structure? Inverted pyramid structure. You put all the essential information right at the beginning of the newspaper report. What is the aim of this strategy? So that you can grab the attention of the reader. And if the report is lengthy, you should always divide it into paragraphs. Now, how would you divide? On what basis do you divide a report into paragraphs? You place one group of information in one paragraph, similar and related information in one paragraph. So this is how you frame a newspaper report. The most important things you have to remember: the format. You have to follow the format. You have to give a title. You have to give the title should not be need not be a huge sentence. That title should also be brief. Please go and look at the English newspapers, and go through various titles, um, and the title should be followed by the date of publication and the location of the report. Now you have to follow this format when you are writing a newspaper report. This is an example of a newspaper report given in your text. Now you can omit that report of, okay, you can just give the title, the annual cattle fair at Pushkar, followed by the location and the date, which is followed by the report. Now the next kind of reports is the magazine reports. So magazine reports, usually they are given a report of an activity that has taken place. So again, you need to give a title. Even though it's for a college magazine, you need to give a title at the top. Now this need not be very formal or very objective. It can be very rich in detail. If you're reporting an event, it should be as per the time, chronological recalling of event, and again you can divide it into paragraphs. So you can read the report here. It's a report for the college magazine about the arts club inauguration. It's an event, it's reporting an event. So all the important information: when it was held, who was the guest, who who presided over it, all the important info is given right in the first paragraph. The following paragraphs are an elaboration, a chronological listing of all the events and an elaboration. And the report ends with the last event that happened during the function. So this is how you report an activity in a magazine. Now don't forget to give the title. Now the last kind of reports are the office reports. Now these are the most complex category of reports. So this cannot be limited to one page. This can consist of several, say 50-60 pages. So the title, so what do you write in an office report? It's a description of the procedures and the analysis of the outcome. Mostly a report is presented in order to you are given a problem. For example, a committee will be given an issue to analyze, and you are supposed to give a report on it, your analysis on it. So what do you write in that report? You don't just write your conclusions or your findings of the study. You have to start from even the description of the procedures that you used, your method of analyzing, how you analyzed it. Only then you move to the findings or recommendations or conclusions. Okay, so again, office report will also have a title, but it will be the front page of the say the many pages that will be part of the report. And the tone should be impersonal, objective. It should use technical terms, and it should be result oriented. Now this is the structure of an office report, which is I have taken from your text. So remember that it is not just one page, it consists of several pages. So the first page will consist of the title of the report. It will be followed by an index or table of contents. That is, I'm sure you have seen it in books. What is a table of contents? A page listing all the uh, all the elements of that book, say chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, on which page it occurs. So these information are given in the table of contents. Now the next portion will be the statement of the problem that you are analyzing in this report, an introduction. Any piece of writing usually has to include an introduction, then the context of the report and the procedure followed, with what tools you conducted this study. Then the next portion is outcome, recommendations and findings. Now you find certain results, right? So after even that is not enough, after finding the results of the study, you have to suggest what further has to be done. How can you resolve the problem? So those come under the recommendations portion. And lastly, a summing up of the study and the findings is written in the conclusion. Now appendices and bibliography are uh, additional elements of the report. Appendices refers to extra documents that are attached to the report, graph, pie diagrams or other analytical data. And bibliography refers to uh, links to other relevant reports or supplementary findings or sources, other things that you referred, or books or articles or uh, links that you refer to in order to complete your study. Okay, so this is how you frame an I can say an investigative report, office report. uh, so these are the three kinds of reports. Usually for the exam, office reports are not asked because the office reports are really lengthy. Usually newspaper reports and magazine reports are asked for the exam. So as I said before, when you write your answers, please check the marks for which you are writing the answer. If it's a 4-mark question, it can be limited to 1 page. However, if it is say a 15-mark question, you should expand the answer to about at least 3 pages. So that's it in this for the video. So please go through other examples that you can find in newspapers, or you can search the internet, read some other examples that will help you in framing the answers correctly.